Ethiopia has submitted an application to join the BRICS bloc of emerging economies in a move the government says is intended to attain strategic and geopolitical benefits for the country. As Girum Chala now reports, Ethiopia is banking on its fast-growing economy and rising population to join the BRICS bloc.
Ethiopia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said the Horn of African nation is optimistic of joining the BRICS bloc, whose membership is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Already one of the fastest growing economies in the world, authorities said Ethiopia's membership in the BRICS bloc will have massive strategic importance to the nation.
Based on the fast-changing global situation and based also on the power lineup, we are obliged to consider being part of other global organizations which will help us safeguard our national interests. One such party is BRICS, and we have formally forwarded our request. Therefore, the Ethiopian government has asked to be part of a bloc that has Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa as members. We expect a positive reply from them soon.
Experts say Ethiopia is in a good position to be admitted in the BRICS bloc due to its population, which is the second highest in Africa, and its growing economy, which is among the highest on the continent.
If we look at Ethiopia today, in terms of population, it's the second largest after Nigeria, about 125 million. In 20 years, it will be 180 million, and of course, and then by the 2050, it will be amongst the 10 largest population in the world. Secondly, if you look at the economy, it's the third largest GDP in sub-Saharan Africa. Nigeria, South Africa, and Ethiopia. These are the three largest economies in sub-Saharan Africa. And the Ethiopian economy this year, according to the IMF, has topped $156 billion. In the last 20-some years, it has grown by 1,400%.
Many also believe opening doors for emerging economies such as Ethiopia will boost potential trade and economic benefits for the BRICS bloc.
Since the BRICS are forward-looking, and since they're looking for large emerging economies, large countries with large populations, which could have a disproportionate impact in the region, for example, the Horn of Africa, East Africa, but also across Africa, I think Ethiopia would be a very good candidate.
But still, some argue Ethiopia's economy ranks only 59th in the world according to the International Monetary Fund, and is less than half of the size of the smallest BRICS member, South Africa.
It might be the case today, but if you do fast forwarding, Ethiopia grown by 8 to 9, 10% over the next 10 years. By mid-2030s, the Ethiopian economy has the potential to exceed the size of the South African economy, just for comparison purposes. So one of the reasons the BRICS will be looking at, in my view, I'm sure they have their own measurements, but in my view, one of the reasons Ethiopia will be an attractive candidate to include will be it's an emerging large economy.
Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, UAE and Turkey are also some of the countries which have been reported to be keen to join the BRICS bloc, which will be holding its meeting this year in South Africa. BRICS countries account for more than 40% of the world's population and about 26% of the global economy. Ethiopia has said it will continue to work with international institutions that can protect its interests. CGTN, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.